Siluria's Tree is the second Crucible Knight weapon I'll be using in a row for these build videos, and it comes with one of the deadliest ranged Ashes of War in the whole game. So let's see how we can make a build around the Strength Faith weapon, and if it is better than its Crucible weapon counterpart, or Dovus' Greatsword. To find this weapon, we're gonna have to go off the beaten path. Make your way to Deeproot Depths, either via the Gargoyles fight, or through the Lindell sewers. In the back of Deeproot, you'll find Siluria, and after defeating the boss, the weapon and armor set are yours. Our moveset won't look crazy. The charged heavy is a sweeping attack, the neutral R1s are pokes, and the heavy running attack is a charge. But the thing is, this weapon only deals pierce damage, which may be my favorite physical damage type in the game, as it is great against bosses like Promised Consort Radahn. I would even say to slap on the Spear Talisman here, but only physical damage will be boosted by counterattacks, and since this is a physical and holy damage split weapon, it will not deal as much counterattack damage as something with pure physical. I use the moveset plenty, but we're all here for Siluria's Woe. This is up there at the very top for one of the coolest startup animations for an Ash of War, where your character spins the Great Spear before slamming it on the ground for a vortex of damage. But that's not all. You can charge it up for even more damage, but this fully charged version turns it into a ranged attack. The fully charged Siluria's Woe is one of the longest ranged attacks in the game. If you have an elite enemy in the distance you don't feel like fighting, cast this once or twice and their history. If you're not starting your boss fights with this attack, I don't know what you're doing. It turns into a free few thousand points of damage at the beginning of every fight, and will make your run all the more easier. This is a strength and a faith build, so of course I had to use the usual buffing incantations. Golden Vow gives us 15% more damage and 10% more damage negation. This may be the first time I've done this, but I used both Flame Grant Me Strength and Howl of Shabriri. The Howl is good if you know you're going to be at range, as it reduces your damage negation by quite a bit, and Flame Grant Me Strength is much better if you're going to be up close and personal with a boss, and plan on tanking a hit or two. I had a higher faith investment than last week, so equipping the Howl was no problem, but I do have to say, do not use both of these at once in the same fight. Elden Ring has categories of different buffs, and these two incantations are in the same category. So if you cast one after the other, whichever was cast second will overwrite the first one. So be mindful of that so you're not wasting your FP. For our playstyle, we want to use the Flask, then Golden Vow, then one of the two aforementioned incantations, whichever you deem most appropriate for this fight. At the start, you can stay at a nice, comfortable range and shoot off at least one fully charged Siluria's Woe. After that, you may not have huge attack windows, but if you can create some distance, you can send another one downrange. If not, we're going to use Shard of Alexander, so up close, feel free to spam the uncharged Ash of War, and as I said earlier, all of our attacks are Pierce. The moveset won't do as much damage, but those light attacks are quick pokes, and great for keeping enemy poise down. This would have been the question this week, but I did ask in a community post, which is better, were Dovus' Greatsword or Siluria's Tree? And at the time of recording, 55% voted for the Greatsword and 23% for the Tree. I gotta agree here. I like the Greatsword moveset better, and Ordovus' Vortex does that stupid amount of poise damage. Siluria's Woe is an amazing ranged attack, but Ordovus' Vortex is simply better. Now for the true question of the week. What is your favorite ranged Ash of War? Initially, weapons like the Dark Moon Greatsword and the Bolt of Grandsax come to mind, but my favorites may be Moon and Fire Stance, because it's really cool, and Blade of Death, since it deals percent health damage. There are plenty of them in this game, so let me know your favorites down below. As always, this video is sponsored by my novel, Follow the Gleam, a literary dark fantasy. If you want to learn more about it, be sure to hop on my second channel, which I am very grateful for everyone that went over and watched a video on it, as on a channel that had 6 subscribers, I got 600 views, which was about 100 times more than what I was expecting. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And as always, for more build and Souls-like videos like this, every single Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, be sure to like and subscribe to the Jersey side. Our talismans for the build were the Godfrey icon, to power up the fully charged Ash of War, the two-headed turtle talisman, for better stamina regeneration, the Dragon Crest Great Shield, for 20% physical damage negation, the armor we wear is heavy to start out with, and this makes us extra tanky, and the Shard of Alexander, for 15% more Ash of War damage. When I knew it was going to be a quick ranged battle, I did swap out the two-headed turtle talisman for the Holy Scorpion charm. Only part of our damage is holy, so I don't get the full boost on it, but it was better than stamina regeneration that I didn't need. For tiers, we have a choice between quite a few. There's the Bloodsucking Crack tier and the Holy Shrouding Crack tier, giving us a 20% boost to all damage with health drain, and a 20% boost to holy damage. These two are great when we want to focus on offense, but of course, if we want to play defensively, swap out the Bloodsucking Crack tier for the Opaline Hard tier. This, with the Crucible Knight armor, and the Dragon Crest Great Shield, makes us very hard to kill. Our stats at RL 170 were 60 Vigor, 25 Mind for the Incantations and Ash of War, as the cost of Siluria's Woe is 10 FP higher per cast than Ordovis's Vortex. 35 Endurance to medium roll in this armor, 54 Strength, 13 Dexterity to use the weapon, and 46 Faith. The scaling on this weapon is spread more evenly, so unlike last week, I wasn't exclusively focusing on strength. In conclusion, I do prefer Ordovis's Greatsword. That by no means makes this a bad weapon, and someone mentioned on the community post that because these weapons have very similar scalings, should you have the equipment capacity, you can use them both on the same build. Thematically and stat-wise, it works. Overall, I'm glad I went through these Crucible weapons back to back, and I'm ready for whatever is next. I'm not sure if I'll be posting it next week, but I do have a game review of a lesser known Souls-like coming out. I know you will all enjoy it.